how much adjustments did you guys have to make at halftime with the quarterback change?
Well, a lot.
Not to Illingworth, but with Bullock all having to play, it seemed like the longer the game went, the more you moved the ball.
Yeah, we had to make some adjustments, no question about it. And I'll tell you, the run game guys did a fantastic job of trying to find some runs. They were overplaying us strong, and we ended up getting some cutbacks on them and some weak side runs that made a difference. And at the end of the day, that was the real factor for us because obviously, when we get dinged up like that early, losing Spencer, and then we lost a couple of linemen too throughout the game, kind of changed the whole complexion for us as far as play calling goes.
Why did it go so much better when you went with Illingworth?
Yeah, that's a good question. I can't really answer that until I get back in and watch the tape. But, he flipped up a couple of balls and he threw it to a pretty good wide out and two caught it. So at the end of the day, that's kind of what it was, for him, for Shane. But he's a poised player. And, that guy is just coming off being on COVID for a little bit, or whatever you want to call that, the tracing. So, it was good to get him back out there and get him going. And certainly we needed him today.
Our next question is going to come from Scott Wright from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Scott.
How much work had you had with Shane, and would you have felt more comfortable going to him earlier if you'd had a little bit more work with him in the preseason?
I think so. It was a pretty good battle between him and Ethan. When Shane basically ended up vanishing for a little bit of time, but at that time it was very, very tight. And obviously with Ethan getting more time, more reps, more snaps, us sliding him in there with the ones at times, certainly he gets the nod in that situation.
And then, what did you think that they were doing, that Tulsa was doing, to make things difficult for you guys in the passing game, particularly shutting out Tylen for the first half?
I don't know how much it was to take away, a certain player or a certain guy. I don't feel that way. I've got to go back and look at it and just see exactly what happened. I know there were a couple times in there. We were rotating our receivers for one, so Tylen got half the time that he got in the second half. At that point, it was, we better get your butt out there and get you rolling. And we wanted to see how he responded in the first half, and he was good. Tylen's had a couple nicks here and there throughout training camp. We wanted to make sure he was ready to play before we put him out there. And at halftime, he said he was full throttle, ready to go, and it showed. So, I don't know how much it was issues of trying to shut him down or anything like that. I don't think that's the case. We had a couple mistakes in there. Wideout, we had a couple mistakes in the line. We had a couple mistakes at quarterback, a couple reads here and there. And when you lump them all together, then that becomes a problem. And we'll address that, and we'll get that taken care of tomorrow. Right now, I'm just going to enjoy this win and make the most of the dang first victory of the year. It's great.
Thanks, Kasey.
Yeah.
All right, our last couple questions for Coach Dunn. This next one is going to come from Max Olson from The Athletic. Go ahead, Max.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned how much you didn't really get to see Shane. You throw a true freshman into that spot, it could get better, it could get a lot worse. What was your nerves kind of as you guys were making that switch?
Max, could you repeat that for me? You cut out a little bit. There's some sort of feedback or something.
Yeah. When you put Shane in there, you put a true freshman in that spot. It could get better or it could get a lot worse. Kind of what were your nerves at in putting him in that spot at a pretty critical time in the game?
Very comfortable. He was really, really good all the way up until we didn't have him for a couple of weeks. So I had no issues with him going in. He's a great pocket passer. He's very, very poised, as I mentioned earlier. He's a great kid. He's a student of the game. He's going to be a heck of a player. But, sure, losing Spencer is rattling, no question about that. You lose your quarterback essentially on the first series of the game, in the first game of the year, and everybody's going, holy crap, what the hell happened? But, those two guys stepped in and did a solid job, and hats off to Shane. He stepped in at a moment that we needed a couple of plays. He found the right couple of guys, got him the football, got protection settled up, and did a nice job of standing in the pocket. So I'm excited where we're headed with that young guy, and hopefully get Spencer back soon.
And Kasey, everyone you play is going to have a plan for Chuba. Did you see him stay patient today even when they were kind of balling him up?
Yeah, Chuba was fine. You know, again, it was just one of those things. They were really cheating down inside, trying to take some strong side runs away, and we made some adjustments in the second half. I thought we ran the ball better, and you know, like I told the big kids after the game, I mean, when we needed them to step up, they stepped up. We controlled the line of scrimmage in the fourth quarter and were able to pull away and get that thing done, you know, and kind of in a 4-minute mode situation, if you will. They got it done. We moved the ball down the field. So my hat's off, you know, I tip my hat to those guys because they did it when we needed them to do it. And both backs, I thought, ran hard. So, you know, we'll get in tomorrow, like I said, and check that film and see where we're truly at and make some adjustments as necessary. And obviously we've got adjustments to make if Spencer can't go again.
Thanks.
All right, our last question is going to come from Bill Haston of the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Bill.
Kasey, typically when you work with 3 quarterbacks as a coordinator, it's because you're in a blowout and things are going well. But at any point, did you just look around in the room today and say, what the crap is going on here? I mean, you might be probably the first guy who's ever debuted as a coordinator here who had to play call for 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, that was interesting, you know, and they're all slightly different. And, you know, Spencer and Shane are on opposite ends of the spectrum. But it was certainly a challenging day at times, but our guys responded. And it's nothing crazy. I tell you, our offensive line coach and Jason McIndoe, you know, our tight ends coach and Waz put together some really solid runs for us down the stretch. And so, man, oh, man, did they make some things happen for us. And then obviously if we're able to run the ball and then we can get Tylen one-on-one and some of the receivers that we have one-on-one, it gives us a chance to flip the ball up in the air and make a play. And we've got talented guys that can do that. So it sorted itself out at the end. I'd love to have restarted that thing again, obviously, and go back and restart from quarter number 1, knowing what I know now. But it was a great win. It was a great team effort. And, you know, and to recap what Coach said, it was kind of funny. You know, we got that first down in the beginning of the second half, and the crowd went crazy. It was we could hear them up in the box. So it was fun and energetic. So, you know, I'm fired up about the Cowboy family out there and staying the course and coming out, turning out and cheering and doing what they did. And I know it sounds funny, but we were all kind of laughing and smiling when we got that first down, and the crowd erupted like we'd scored a touchdown or something. But it was fun for us. It was fun for the kids.